have had a camp experience. Now, maybe you've had it not at camp. You've had a camp-like experience, which is totally fine. But has anybody ever been to a church camp that really impacted them? Don't mind raising your hand. Ruth? Nancy? Linda? Anybody at home, please make sure that you're taking a moment to just say hello to everybody. And if you also could share, and even include, if you would, where you were, or even maybe some specifics about that, that would be wonderful. We'll look at those. So camping can be a really impactful time for people. Again, in some ways I kind of felt bad as I was working on this, and it was my idea to do this. But you know, it's like, oh, I'm going to talk up camp and then go, oh, well, good luck. Hopefully you can find one next year. Because most camps are only going to be, for the most part, in summer camps, especially for our kids. But there are other camps that are available at Camp Kirkwood, American Baptist sponsored camps, and then also Pilgrim Hills for the UCC. So there are plenty of camping opportunities, even for in the winter, which you might not want to go camping in the winter, I don't know. But there are lots of experiences. But my point today is, you know, I hope that all of you look for some of those. You know, there's some great grandparent camps, right, with grandkids. There's all kinds of different camps that are out there for specific, like a theater camp, but then there's a theater Christian camp. So you're doing acting and all of that, but yet it's for the glory of God and for learning to get closer to God and your walk with God. So camping can be a really great thing, but again, I think we all can say, okay, yeah, who has time to take off work to go to a camp? Well, kind of some of that is like a back bay trip, right? That going away, going out of your regular place, out of your regular space that you normally live and breathe and move and work, it has a huge impact on how much you get from that experience. So yes, doing some mission trips here are wonderful, but there is something about, and again, those of you who have been there could acknowledge this as well, about being in a different space, not just being able to go home to your safe thing that you can shut the door, you don't have to talk to people, deal with people, but being around people, and then being in situations that are kind of foreign maybe to us. So that type of thing, whatever that is, whether it's a mission trip, whether it's a camp, can be so impactful for all people, I believe. And again, some of you even raised your hands here to share that as well. And I'd love to hear some of those stories, by the way, if you want to email me. But I did want to mention, again, just kind of some of the reasons why, so that maybe we can, and I believe we can, find those experiences here, either in our church or outside in nature, which again we see as biblical. We read that in several different places. Or just being aware of that sometimes we just need to do something different in order to have God speak to us. God always is speaking to us in order for us to more clearly hear God. That's the much better way of saying it. So I do have a video that I want to show you here in just a little bit, and I had this planned before I knew I wouldn't be able to talk as much. But first, I just had a little bit of an article that I wanted to share with you. It's by Heather Brady in the Sojourner magazine. It's called Cabins, Campfires, and Soul Formation. And I just want to read just a tiny bits that I highlighted here. She says, summer camps are important, and again, just camping in general. They provide places for personal and spiritual growth. And as I'm reading this, take some time to think about, okay, where can I get this? Like, unless you're like totally not sold on it, then that's fine. But if you are like, whoa, this sounds really impactful, okay, look for camps. But beyond that, see if you can find, okay, where can I get this type of place or this experience, okay? And again, each of us would maybe have different ideas on that. Summer camps or other ways of getting these things provide places for personal and spiritual growth beyond what kids and adults can access in their regular home and church environments. Camp provides space, external and internal. So that's one of the most important things, is providing space. External, being out in the woods, right? Internal, having time, shutting off our electronics, just being with God. And for many of us, that kind of maybe never happens, or rarely, or once a week for an hour on Sunday mornings. But religious camps have an added layer that makes them distinct from other camps in their own right. They address some of the biggest questions kids will face on their lifelong journeys of faith and provide the adults guiding them with the chance to explore their own evolving values in ways that we want all of them to carry forward. They do so by creating a safe container in which kids can test their questions, beliefs, and relationship with God while being held in community by adults who are invested in the growth of their whole selves, including their spirituality. So again, it's being able to find a safe space to be, a safe space that we can ask our questions and that we can be with adults or other people, other adults if we're an adult, that kind of can help us unpack things and that we feel safe to share these things. That's so important. And then she says, Jesus models the need to seek refuge from the intense pace of his life and ministry. He takes time away to rest and pray. He encouraged his disciples to do the same. Christian summer camps give campers and staff alike the same opportunity for respite while instilling key values like relationship building, leadership development, and community formation. So again, some of those things maybe are harder to get when you're not at a church camp or at a mission camp doing mission work, but still, I hope you can see that some of these things really do translate. So I hope that maybe this week you can be thinking about that. Where are some spaces that you can find, that you can kind of get your own little summer camp experience? You can get that maybe coming next week after church and staying for that Start With Hello group, because we've started to get to know each other and talking and we're sharing. It's the same type of thing. Or maybe you on your own take some of our scriptures and just take time. And I love that word, that phrase that she used, external and internal time, to be able to, and space, to be able to connect to God. Well, the other thing I wanted to share this morning, besides that individual piece, is the collective piece. And I mean P-I-E-C-E, piece, of how is it that we can bring peace, P-E-A-C-E, to our world, individually, but also as collectively as a people of God. Well, I ran into a really wonderful video. It was by Rocky Mountain PBS, and it's about 8 minutes long, but it interviews a pastor and some of his congregation. Did anybody see that? It popped up on my news feed. I do a lot of PBS, and it kind of popped up. Okay, so you might want to see it. I will definitely include the link for just in case there's people that want to see it again. But this is talking about a church in Colorado. It is northeast of Durango. So with our last Colorado trip, we were out kind of in the Durango area. And so if we just would have kept going up north and then a little bit east, in the middle of nowhere, basically, is this town. And they happen to be on the Colorado Trail. Now, I don't know if anyone here has hiked the Colorado Trail. We have done parts of it, very small parts of it, but we would love to do a longer stretch. But it goes all the way across Colorado. And so this pastor, you'll see at the very beginning, he says, I had no idea that we even were on I didn't even know the Colorado Trail existed, and turns out their town was on the Colorado Trail. And so he and his church decided, okay, what can we do? They were in a time of discernment, which I hope every church is all the time. We are, certainly, right? How is it that we can serve the people that are nearest to us or people that are coming through our town? How can we make a difference? And so this video is a news report about what this church did to make a huge impact, not just on through hikers, but also on their community and also the people themselves of the church. So I hope you enjoy this.
Over the course of 5 years, as the hikers tell me, I have a little bit of a reputation on the trail, although I've never been on it. More and more, we see people say things like, you gotta stop in Lake City.
There's a lot of great towns on the Colorado Trail, but this is one where the Hikers Center and the community supports the hikers. It's a must stop for people to trail. The unique thing that I've never seen on any other trail is this Sunday tradition of having a hiker dinner on Sunday evenings.
We are having our 5th of this summer hikers dinner. We started about 5 years ago.
I love to cook, and so we started participating in that. The church and the community all bring sides and desserts, and so there's tons of food, and they're just overwhelmed. Be careful, just make sure you're getting
You're feeling those potatoes, right?
it's a good feeling to know that you've been able to fill their bellies before they get back on trail.
I remember that summer of COVID, no one's in town, it's kind of a weird environment. Hinsdale County is the most remote county in the lower 48 states. We have 400 people in town, 800 in the whole county. We have hikers, and they walk by the church, and they walk by my house. We are the oldest Protestant church on the western slope of the Rockies. We were established in 1876, and the question in the back of my head was, how can we serve hikers? What if we did 8 meals in the summer of 21?
I didn't know about it when I started the hike. I started to see Facebook posts every week. Jason would post, or some hikers would post. I did probably the longest days I've done on the entire trail, trying to make it here by the Sunday dinner. We're all trying to get here for that Sunday dinner. So I think that's kind of a cool tradition. It gives you something to shoot for.
We love that you're here. We want anything we can do to make your lives easier while you visit our little town. Let us know. The center's open from 9 to 5, so come back tomorrow and we'll get you up the trail.
The first one, we had probably 45 of our town folk and 2 hikers. Jason Bamboo Elwood, he ate 18 tacos, I think, that night. Last year, we logged 974 hikers in our guest book, but I know we welcomed and served way more than that. We opened up the Hiker Center in 22. We did 7 days a week, 9 to 5. People from the town will donate all sorts of snacks and toiletry items.
Not even including the meal that we do on Sunday night, but just having the center here and do their laundry if they need it. The hikers are overwhelmed, and it's really cool to see.
It's met the need of the hikers, but I think it's been powerful in the sense of the community it's created both here in Lake City, amongst my church itself, giving them a sense of purpose.
That's the coolest thing is you meet these mostly young folks that are on trail, and they're from all over, and it's just cool to hear their stories.
So interesting, folks that talk to them, find out where they're from, how far they've hiked, where they intend to go. And of course, we could never do it, so we're just fascinated with the fact that we live vicariously through these types of ideas.
You know, what's funny is that the 5-day stretch leading up to here, I probably saw 1 or 2 hikers per day. And when I got here, there was over a dozen hikers here. And we tend to kind of converge in sort of these type of places, in hiker-friendly places.
The community of who we are here in Lake City is not just our little church or larger community. We're connected to the trail. We have a place on the trail. I like to see moments of transformation, and I see both my people being changed by the ministry, and I see hikers being changed.
Being on a trail and the sense of community really restores your faith in humanity. It is a cliche, but there are certain times where it rings true, and to come here really just makes me feel connected to people.
Isn't that a cool story? Talking about ways that we can create community. Isn't that what we're all about? Ways that we can reach out and acknowledge that we are all humans, we and love all of humanity, and it doesn't matter who you are, where you're from. Here, we're going to give you a meal. We're going to help you however we can. We're going to sit down next to you. We're going to welcome you. Again, just imagine if more and more of these things popped up all across our country. Imagine if Haskins could do that. Now, I don't know how many through hikers we have coming through Haskins. Probably not a lot, right? But the point is that God has given every church gifts to respond to the needs in their community. Whether maybe it's something virtual that we would do, because maybe there's not a lot here in Haskins. Although, you know what? There's a greater need in Haskins than we probably ever even realize. There are so many things, so many people in need. So I hope that this type of thing can give us hope, again, as a church, but even just you individually. individually, to be able to go, wow, there are places like that that show love to each other, and that are acknowledge the common humanity of all people. And that makes, at least I felt so much heartened after watching this. And again, even today, it's like my fourth time watching this. But how are the ways that we can take advantage in a most positive way of saying that, ourselves, of allowing ourselves to be fed and loved by other people, like these hikers did? And then it brought together the church family as well and the community. And then how is it that we can then also be like this church also? And again, we already are doing so many things like very similar, right? When I first watched this, I thought, oh my gosh, that looks like ham loaf dinner, like at, an hour before ham loaf, where you got everybody all working and getting ready and laughing and talking and enjoying working together and all the other things that we do. But I just loved this particular example, again, of just showing how that there sometimes are even bigger things, that they've made this into a real ministry of their church. Not just one part of it, but it looks like a big focus of their ministry. So God can use us in so many different ways, individually, at your work, at your school, wherever you are, but then also as a church. And so I just pray that we keep finding stories like this, finding the good news that we need right now, so we don't feel like, oh, the world is just, there's nothing we can do. There's so much hatred and division. Yes, there is, but we can do something about that step by step by step.